Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome to the Talking Circle. I'm here today chatting with...
Hi, I'm Claire.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie.
And today we're going to be having a chat about power of attorney and the benefits of power of attorney. Anne-Marie, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. I'm working on a project just now for unpaid carers in Fife, trying to promote the benefits of having a power of attorney in place. The person that they care for, it's a good idea that that person has somebody legally to make decisions for them, or to be able to go and do banking for them, or, sometimes doctors or, the bank or whoever won't speak with the carer because there's no legal powers in place. So it's kind of a good idea to have somebody that is able to do that for you, because then there's no quabbling about it,
So, we're quite aware of what power of attorney is, but for people who don't, is that not the same as next to kin?
No, absolutely not. Next to kin is basically that gives you a phone call in the middle of the night, just to say something's happened, or, just basic contact. But there's no legal powers around being next of kin. The bank don't have to recognise that. Neither does any other health professional or whatever. So people don't realise these days, because it never used to be like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, way years ago you didn't need any. People just spoke to you if you said you were. Mm-hmm. If I was your mum, they'd go, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Changed now,
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think before, obviously, as Caroline said, we're aware of what power of attorney is. Mm-hmm. But I think before maybe learning about all that, it's the amount of different decisions that someone would have to have legal powers in place for to make. Yeah. And what is good about power of attorney as opposed to guardianship is it can be someone you choose. Mm-hmm. You can choose who you want to be your power of attorney, whether that is your parent, the carer, whether that is a grandparent,
anybody,
a son, a daughter, a really close friend that you've known for a lot of time that you would trust to make the decisions on your behalf.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, because they don't understand what power of attorney is and what they're actually doing, some people think, I'm signing my life away to somebody else, and I didn't want anybody else dealing with my business. And, there's that sort of scary element around it, whereas we're trying to sort of explain it in a way that takes it away for the legalese, and simplifies it for people and help them understand that this is a benefit for them if they do become unwell and they can't carry out things that they would normally do in their day-to-day life. Like something simple as going to the doctors or getting some information. If they become unwell, they can say, could you go to the doctors for me? Now, if the power of attorney document's there on their records, then there's no problem, because this person has asked them to give you that information. If you want them to go to the bank, all that kind of stuff. It's so much easier if you have a disability or even just looking to the future.
Yeah, I was going to say that, kind of like you're planning for the future when you're looking at power of attorney, aren't you? Yeah. It's not for, it doesn't have to be for now.
Absolutely.
It's for when, like for me at my age, when I become older, I don't know what's in the future physically or mentally, what that is. So it's planning for the future, it's not for now.
Absolutely. I worked with somebody not that long ago, and he had sort of said, I wish that this information had been more widely available years ago, because by that time it was too late. His wife had gotten dementia, couldn't sign a power of attorney, so they had to then look at guardianship. And it really upset him that he had to take that step. He didn't want to, but he said to make sure my wife was okay, I have to take this step into guardianship.
And probably as her husband, they possibly had conversations about that before, and we say that here all the time. It's something that you think, I don't need that just now, but actually does everyone need it right now, because you never know what's in the future.
And I think like that couple, they maybe they thought, like a lot of people, because they're married, whatever happened to either of them, the other one then would be able to make the decisions, and that's actually how it is. And
that's a good point.
And we know about it, but like seeking power of attorney in the process for that as opposed to guardianship is massively different. So if you're in a situation where your loved one is unwell or they've lost capacity or whatever it may be, and you're having to also go through that guardianship process, it adds a lot more stress and worry, and
especially if their loved one's in hospital and they may remain stuck in hospital until a guardianship is sought, because nobody has the powers to make any decisions on where someone moves. And it was interesting what you were saying earlier. It's not just about the big things like because a lot of the powers can be like deciding where someone resides, the care and support they receive. But it's not just the big things, it's the simple thing of phoning the GP for someone and they won't. You get it a lot with banks. Banks will not speak to anyone apart from the person that has the account.
That's right.
And if that person then doesn't have capacity or they're unwell at that point and they're not able to make the phone calls, who is it that deals with these small things that then mount up and become a massive stress?
Yeah, but it takes away sort of, if these things are in place like early on before they're needed, then it takes away, like a lot of family members or carers can get that guilt feeling about making these, sort of saying, oh my gosh, what would you have liked to do? Or I don't want to be the one that's making that decision because we never discussed it. So it can kind of take a lot of that away from, nothing might ever happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a safeguard, I suppose, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's done when unfortunately somebody passes away, then that's done with then. Then the will takes over, or the estate or whatever, but power of attorney is done.
And I suppose it's kind of like making a will. It's one of the things that you don't want to think about. You don't want to think about these things. But then if you really think about power of attorney, like for us right now, if we were thinking about making a power of attorney with whoever we chose, that's then you're able to have that discussion about, and I know it's not an easy conversation to have, but in the event anything does happen, these are the things that I would like.
Absolutely.
So then when you do get older or things change or your illness progresses, that the power of attorney is aware of what Caroline would want, or what she wouldn't, or she wouldn't want that, or no, she wouldn't want to go there. But it is a difficult kind of conversation.
I kind of think to myself, like, to maybe stress how important it is. People go on about, you have to have life insurance and all that kind of thing. That's financial stuff. Whereas having a power of attorney in place is a welfare thing.
Which is just
it's like
important.
A welfare insurance thing, and maybe younger people really need to be made aware of, and that's what we're trying to do, is to widen it up. It's not just for older people, it's for everybody.
Yeah. You could be 25, no health issues.
Absolutely.
Living life thinking that you're never, you're fit, you're healthy, nothing's ever going to happen to you.
It's really about planning about your future, Actually, and it's really, like you say, it's like you could do at any age. It's like life insurance and all these different things. It should be part of that. And you're right, we're trying to open that conversation up to people. To be, it's okay to have that conversation. It's good to have that conversation and to have the plans in place, because like you're saying, there's lots of people stuck in hospital and loved ones are having to go through these long guardianship processes that adds to the stress.
That's right. And I think understanding there's different types of power of attorney as well. You can have continuing, which is the financial powers of a power of attorney. Now, you can say you want that person to have those powers straight away, or you can state on the document that'll only happen when you lose capacity. So you've got the choice there, and everybody's different. So it's kind of like a bespoke document where it's specific to you rather than just a generalisation. And then you've got your welfare power of attorney, which is only sort of to look after your health concerns, when you lose capacity. If you go into hospital, it can be like physical incapacity as well. It doesn't always have to be mental incapacity. So you could be You know, you could be laid up in hospital. You can't physically go and do anything. So you're asking somebody to do something on your behalf. And your welfare power of attorney then would be the person that you would be able to ask, and they would have the legal power to carry those things out. And then you've got your combined power of attorney, which is both of them. It's a combination of A and B. And I think the most important thing is to remember that it's your document, you know, and you can say what you want in it.
I think what's good as well is you can choose 2 different powers of attorney. So if you knew that there was someone that would be better at making decisions about your welfare, then you can appoint one person as your welfare, and if there's someone who's perhaps better with money, better with the numbers of things, you could have someone different to do your financial power of attorney.
Really is like makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You know,
and then you can also have obviously joint. You could have 2 powers of attorney that could perhaps
or one and
make
a substitute. And like couples, they can have, like, they call them mirror power of attorneys. So it's like one, like each other's power of attorney. So they kind of get that, like the cost on that is like sort of halved. It's not like power of attorney times 2. It's like 1 and a bit. You know, so you're saving costs if you do each other's rather than just, you know, one, or, you know, stuff like that. There's just...
And I suppose part of your project that you're working on, that you were saying at the beginning, Anne-Marie, is that people could come to us and we can provide them information about power of attorney and how it works and the process. We can also support people to go through the process in terms of access and legal support and support them through that process. So, and it's a free service and people can come to us, and that's really...
Sometimes that's what puts people off, is like going to see a lawyer or whatever, because they're scared of the legal language and like, oh, I don't even know where to start, and you know, that kind of stuff. So like, they can choose a solicitor off their list. We can make the phone call and go with them. And more often than not, they'll come out and they're like so relieved. Oh, thank gosh you came with me, because, you know, I couldn't have done that. I had a woman yesterday, I mean, she was up to high dough, really flustered, you know, but she did really well, but she kept getting dead nervous. And I thought, you know, this is why I'm here. This is my job, sort of thing. So, it is quite daunting for some people. You know.
I think as well as part of the project, and obviously giving people information, it does as well let the person who's going to become the power of attorney know what responsibility that might entail, because a lot of people will go, I'll be your power of attorney, but actually there is a bit of responsibility when it comes to actually that being in place. So it's about making sure people have the information about what it entails being a power of attorney, so that they understand then what decisions they could be making on behalf of people, and then that'll obviously allow for the person and the power of attorney to have the conversations. Right, we don't want something to happen to you, but if it does, what is it you want? How do you feel about certain things? If you need cared for, where do you want that to be? What sort of support do you feel you'd need? It lets people then have the conversations so that then the power of attorney knows what someone wants when it comes to actually having to use it. If they have to use it.
There must be nothing worse, you know, than lying in hospital and people you don't even know making decisions for you, you know. But my family will do that. No, sorry, they can't make those kind of decisions, you know. So, I think it's, like I said, a good insurance policy for the future. And, you know, just to make things easier for you all round if anything should happen.
Your family as well. It will make things a lot easier.
Absolutely. Because you're actually making it easier for your family to deal with things like that, because, you know, it's written down. There's no mistaking what's there. You know, the bank can't say, oh no, we can't deal with anybody because the document's there. You know, so hopefully this project, you know, is maybe helping some people out there to kind of just move forward with it, or at least if they're not ready to do it just now, like they understand a wee bit better what it is. And they know we're there. I mean, you know, we get people coming to us a lot, and so people know we're there. And if they need that help, then you know, that's what we do.
So I think we've pretty much covered all the information that we can in terms of power of attorney and how important it is. So just thank you very much to Claire and Anne-Marie for coming along today and having a chat.
Thank you.
And hopefully people have found that conversation useful and helpful, and we'll see you next month for our next conversation.
If you would like to know more about Circles Network Advocacy, the links to their website and Facebook page are in the description. They can also be reached on 01592 645 360. The Talking Circle was presented by Caroline Haddo, Claire Cargill and Anne-Marie Pocock. It was a Jacket Pocket Media production for Circles Advocacy 5.